Well, there we go. A brand new day starting as Africa continues to take on its challenges. Now, the provision of access to utilities such as electricity, water and renewable energies in Africa is not at the level that we wish it would be, not at all. And that's why we're glad that it's African Utility Week, a conference that provides the largest gathering of energy and water professionals focused on all aspects of the provision of energy services to the African market. And this morning, we're joined by Director Evan Schiff to tell us a bit more about what is to be expected at this very exciting event. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's quickly talk about the event itself, that it's not just an event, but it also serves as a networking opportunity for all of the service providers involved. How do you ensure that a conference like this or an event like this goes beyond the conversations that just take place there?
Absolutely. I mean, that's very important. We're only 3 days out of the year, and the problems that face the continent in terms of provision of energy, provision of water are acute. Yeah. I think you can put it that way. So really the connections that are being able to made and the peer-to-peer learnings, the peer-to-peer engagements are massively important, because these are very busy people. They don't often get the time to actually see one another, and to have 3 days to sit in a room to discuss, to connect, to share their problems, and then to find common solutions really is quite spectacular. And then we run events actually on the continent throughout the year. So we provide other opportunities as well to also connect together. So it really kind of lives beyond the 3 days of the conference.
Yeah. Talk to me about some of the biggest challenges that will be spoken about and tackled at the conference.
Absolutely. So we've seen two major trends at the moment on the continent. That is the emergence of renewables and renewable energy. So as we've seen technology prices come down, solar panels are much cheaper now. It's quicker and easier to install renewable energy projects. We're seeing more and more of these renewable energies being taken up on the African continent. And that's good in terms of rather get something connected in 2 years instead of 10 years for a very big power station. And then one of the second trends is the movement of utilities in the continent to modernize. So we've seen ICT systems, the big data, everything we're talking about in every other sphere is happening in the utility space as well. And if you can use that data in a very clever way, you can be much more efficient in how you provide power, less blackouts, and cheaper electricity for people.
Yeah, we could have used that this morning, right?
We really could have, yes.
And what about the highlights that people can expect from the program and the events and the exhibitions taking place? Perhaps some of the keynote speakers that you've invited to talk this year.
Absolutely. So we had the Minister yesterday, the CEO of Eskom. We had the Director General from the Indian Chamber of Commerce. We've got several governmental meetings and BRICS meetings that are going to be taking place alongside the conference as well. And then a whole range of experts across looking at how ready South Africa is to actually roll out the IPP program, learnings from the city of Cape Town in terms of how it's managed to reduce the amount of water demand and water use that we have. So it's very wide and spread out, but there are technical workshops on the show floor. We're looking at African smart cities. How ready are we in resilient cities? And also, as electric vehicles are going to be rolling out more and more on the continent, what does that actually mean for providing energy and electricity? Yeah.
Now, for those that aren't in the power, water and energy sectors that kind of look at a conference like this and then maybe look at the fact that, like you said, the CEO of Eskom was speaking, what hope can they draw from that? The assurance that, like I said, with these conversations taking place, there will actually be action taking place that is going to make a significant change, as we said earlier on, that the need for reliable, sustainable sources of energy on the African continent is at an ever-growing rate right now.
Well, what we can see is that beyond speaking on the program, the CEO of Eskom is also sitting in meeting rooms the whole day, meeting with his colleagues from our neighbours, meeting with his colleagues from up the continent as well. And those meetings are to discuss how can the two countries, how can the two electricity grids actually connect? What opportunities are there for us sending knowledge and expertise and capacity in terms of staff to those utilities? What business, what deals can be done in those between those utilities, between those countries. So all of that together and those meetings and everything that happens behind the scenes at a conference like this will lead to more power, more homes being connected to the grid, and more opportunities to really lift the economy of Africa. So it's very exciting.
And so is our hope, and we hope that we see that results, or those results, in the very, very near future. Thank you very much, Evan.
Thank you.
And of course, the African Utility Week is currently taking place until the 17th of May, with site visits taking place on Friday, the 18th of May. And if you'd like more information on the speakers, the expos, the events, then you can visit African Utility or African-utility-week.com.